Okay, it's going.
Okay, so here's a couple minutes of some standing poses, more neutral ones where pelvic stays even. So we'll just start, take a couple breaths in your cat-cow. Just to help loosen. If you've already done the previous video, hopefully you're already a little loosened up. And just breathe. Open up a little bit, make your way into down dog. And then you can pedal a little bit in down dog. Arms nice and strong, pressing that hip crease and the heel back and down. And you can step a little wider and turn toes out. Back yourself up, either come into a high squat, or if you want to go a little deeper and make your way into a low squat, and just shift a little bit. Let the hips and the inner thighs open. And then realign your feet. Press heels down. Lengthen into a little bit of a wider forward fold. And then sit back, hands to thighs, root down. Come up slowly on your inhale. Take a minute just to circle your shoulders. Maybe twist a little bit. And then grab your blocks and we'll make our way into our wider forward fold, Prasarita pose. So you can start on the high end and always adjust your blocks. Go as wide as you feel stable. I like to turn slightly in a little bit to open through low back. Inhale, come up, and then hinge right from that hip crease. Pelvic tips over thigh bones. Come to your blocks. Extend your spine out long. And then just shift a little bit. Lift your heels. Shift back. Take your time. And then you want to spread through your feet. Press heels back and down. And then the kneecaps lift and that hip crease presses back. Keep belly engaged. Ribs softening up, shoulders down. Just take a couple deep breaths. If you want to go a little deeper, you're always welcome to go deeper. You just want to keep that extension. It's nice to work on extension through the spine as well as opening through the hamstrings and inner thighs. And we'll add a little twist. So you want to lengthen out, keep that left. If you're turning to the right, the left inner thigh stays strong, and breathe and extend out. Hug that shoulder blade in. Take your time, unwind. Take a breath in, exhale out, engage your core, and then try the other way. Lengthen out first on your inhale, and then rotate and open. Keep the inner knees lifting, thighs pressing back, shoulder blade on that hand on your low back hugs in. And then release back to center, extend out. So here you can bend, re-extend by sailing those sit bones up, pressing the hip crease back. Do that a couple times with your breath. And then if you want to open up a little bit, you can turn the toes out and adjust your blocks and go side to side. Just letting the hips and the inner thighs open as you breathe. There's no hurry. Breathe deeply. Notice if one side's a little tighter than the other, you can stay there a little longer, helping it to open up. Make your way back to center. Slowly heel toe the feet back in. Sit back, root down, hands to hips. Come up slowly on the inhale. Good. And then again, just release. Wiggle. And then we'll take our blocks up to the top of the mat now on the high end. If you need a landing pad, your blanket for your knees, or if you're on carpet's usually softer, but depending on what surface you're on, you can always put that there. So you start in Tadasana, nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge. You can always bend the knees so the pelvic tips lengthen out again. So get that extension, come to your blocks, bring them in a little closer, sit back, and then we'll reach that leg back. So front knee aligned over the ankle, shoulders open, just like hugging when you're on your back, hugging the knee into chest, and then opening the front of the hip. You press that heel back. You can release your knee down softly. That's why we added that landing pad. Come up a little taller so you open through the front. Hip flexor now. Now you're hugging your inner thighs in towards each other. We'll go up. You can stay here. You can add a little side bend, lifting the heart, rooting down through the back shin and foot in your front foot for stability. And then come back up. Hinge from your hips, come back to that lunge. And then just be mindful of your blanket. Take your time. Bring feet even, so even them out, hip distance apart. And come back up. We'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Again, do what feels best. If your hamstrings are really tight, just always soften the knees so you can tip. And then you try the other leg. Get your alignment, root down, extend out, open shoulders, press thigh bone and heel back, and breathe. And then you softly let that knee land. Now the back hamstring, now they're working to support you, pressing forward so you open through the front. And take your time, get stable, and breathe. Lift up from rooting down. And release. Hinge again. Come back to your lunge. And then take your time bringing that foot forward. Root down. Hinge up. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Hinge and fold. Inhale. Extend out. Set your blocks to the side. Sit back, come to fingertips. And make your way back to tabletop. Couple cat-cows. You can settle back into child's pose for a couple breaths, sinking the hips back. Make it more active or a little more restful. You can also bring hands back, let shoulders drape down. You can stay there if you're just dying to do one more downward facing dog. From here, you just realign your knees and exhale, lengthen back. Do your pedaling again to release the hamstrings. And a little forward with the feet, a little back, root down, and sweep out. And